Hey guys, how you doing today? I wanted to show you this beautiful plant. This is a Begonia Sophia. Now these are cuttings. My mom and dad came over yesterday and she brought me these cuttings off of her plant. They're rooted. Oop, I'm trying to get them out of the... They're all rooted. That one's not great, but it will do. Oh, I lost a leaf. That one was torn. I was going to take it off anyhow. You see that one's got really good roots. And look at the back. Look at the back of this plant. That's what I love about begonias. They're beautiful on the front side. You see all the beautiful markings on this plant. Isn't she gorgeous? But then the back is just, oh. So any way you're looking at it, they're gorgeous. And then this one's got really good roots. That one does also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these like this. I will throw that ripped one away. She brought it over in this cute little vase that she gave me. Isn't that pretty? I love it. So pretty. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to put her in this pot. So I've got some soil down here, some fresh soil that I put in my gardening tote, or tray I mean, tote. And I've got a lot of perlite in here. I had a little bit of soil in here, so I'm just kind of trying to mix it all up together. And it's so dry it's making me cough. Excuse me. So you just want a nice airy mix with a lot of perlite. It's really pretty. It'll drain through and not hold a whole bunch of moisture that you don't want lingering in your pot. So now we're going to go ahead and get this baby potted up. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these end pieces off. They're ooh, that just squirt gunk out. They're getting squishy. I'm going to get those back and I'm going to cut above. I'm going to cut above where the squishy rot started. This is still kind of hard up in here, but this is really squishy. So I'm going to cut above that as far as I can without ruining my roots. And then pitch it. All the squishy stuff's off. Stuff is off, and I believe they all... Oh, I got dirt on that one. That one's still hard. It's kind of squishy on the bottom. But I'm going to cut above the rotting part. And once again, I'm going to do it to all of them. I might sacrifice a couple roots, but see how that is still brown up in there? So I'm going to cut higher. And there we go. We got fresh green stem. And that one is fresh green stem. And this one has dirt all over it. And I just dumped my water out, but it looks... Yeah, it's green. Okay, now I got one more. Try not to break any more leaves. I'm going to cut above there again. And we're good. Nice and green like it should be. If there's any more brown, just cut up another 1/4 of an inch or so until you're absolutely not seeing any more rotten within the green stem area. because that will rot your plant out really quickly. Okay, so I'm going to finish filling my pot up. I'm just tamping it down. And then what I want to do is take my longest piece. Oh! I'm going to push some of my soil back. Get her down in there. And then the soil line will come up higher. Because where you can see how begonias root, the cane begonias, it doesn't have to root at a node. It will root all the way up the stem. There's no node there. They get little bumps and then they just push roots out of them. It's very cool how they grow. It's part of the reason why I like them so much, because they are just so easy to take care of. The cane begonias. Rex begonias, I kill. Every one I've ever got my hands on, I kill. So, those, for me, are hard. Take some of the dried sheathing off. Get her down in here. I'm just kind of making a hole. Setting them down in there because I don't want to shove it down and break my roots off. And then the same for this. Just making a little hole, and then we'll, ooh, that one's falling out. And then we will even them up. Let me refix this. She's playing games with me. Just making a little hole, and then I'll stick this one in right here. And then start filling my pot. It's easier if you can hold on, kind of hold them up straight. And then I'll turn this around and I'll do the same for these two. Hold on to them as best as you can. I may have to put a stake in here for a little while until the roots grow and expand a little bit more, because she doesn't seem to be wanting to stand up on her own. Let me get my soil packed down a little better. Try to hold on to all of them at the same time here. Sometimes you just need 3 hands. Sometimes. But that would look weird if you had 3 arms. Okay, that's a nutty. It's a nutty thought. Now I'll see, once I water this, I'm just pressing it down lightly, getting the plant stable. And once I water it, it's probably going to stand a little bit better. Or it could make it worse. And I still might have to add that stake to it. Boy, this dry dirt has really got me going now. Got me coughing, and now my nose is running. Ugh. This soil wasn't as dry as what I had on my tote, though. This came right out of the bag, which I keep sealed. My tote has the lid, but it's not very tight. It's not like a tight seal. Alright, so I am just tapping them all down. Now I will get some water and water her, and we'll see if she stands up on her own. Alright, got my water. I'm going to go ahead and water her in good. Now, cane begonias are actually, in my opinion anyhow, are easier to take care of than, like I just mentioned a few minutes ago, the Rex begonias. I have a very hard time with those. I think I overwater them too much. The cane begonias, still don't see any water coming out, so, but the plant seems to, or the cuttings, I mean, actually, seems to be staying stable. So I don't think I'll have to stake her up. Not yet. As she gets taller, she will. But they do like highlight. Look at this beautiful leaf. Big, beautiful leaves on it. My mom has a beautiful, like a bay window. It's huge. And she gets beautiful light in it all day long. And then she's got shears in front of everything. And all of her plants are in front of that window. And they thrive there. Summer and winter. And this one, she said, it was on the floor. And it was growing up so high. And she couldn't control it anymore. She had a few stakes on it. So she decided to cut it off. And she gave me some cuttings. And then she was rooting out her cuttings. And she was going to put back in her pot. I guess. I think that's what she told me. But, anyways, they like highlight. Not sun. You don't want to burn them. And I'm just waiting for water to come out. And they do like to be fed. I feed my begonias all the time, and they love it. They do bloom. They get beautiful blooms on them. I think this one gets a pinky whitish cascade of blooms. I'll try to find pictures of the blooms and put it up for you right here. But, so, very bright light. Don't let them dry all the way out. You don't want to over dry them. With the cane begonias, the stalks do hold quite a bit of water, but there's only so much in there that can support the whole plant, because you've got your leaves, and then if it has flowers, it's supporting all that. I don't let mine dry all the way down. I have heard some other people do. I personally don't. I think they do a little bit better. I'd say about 3/4 of the way dry I let mine get, and then I water her. And humidity, they like humidity, but I think they would tend to probably do okay. They're probably not going to want it super dry, like no humidity at all, or only like 20% or so. I don't know. That's one thing I don't deal with here in Ohio. Yeah, we have really cold winters and our heat's running all year round, or I mean all winter around, but I run a humidifier in my plant room and in my living room where the majority of my plants are. So I usually I keep my humidity in my house between 50 and 60. I try not to let it go above that. But sometimes if we get like a really wet snow in the winter, or say in the spring and fall, and we get all the rain, and it just rains and rains and rains, it will skyrocket. But just make sure if you're running a humidifier that you have a fan running that will circulate and hit all your plants, because you don't want them to get a fungal issue, and you don't want your house walls and furniture to start growing mold. That's why I don't like running my humidity any more than 60. So I think this is a pretty easy plant, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's gorgeous. I think, personally, I think everybody should have at least one of these beautiful Rex begonias of some sort in your collection, because they just bring so much color. Let me turn her. They just bring so much of that pop of color, with the greens and the silvers, and there's so many different other colors. I have one that's pure silver with green streaks through it, and the back is again bright red. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I know, not all plants are suited for everybody, but they're usually fairly cheap. If you find them in the stores. You can find a small pot of them, you know, $3-4 or whatever. I think it would be worth a shot to try it. They're beautiful. Or maybe if you know somebody that has one, like a neighbor or a friend or a family member, hey, can I get a cutting? Root it out. They root out really easy. They're so easy to propagate. It's not funny. You can actually also propagate their leaves. You can cut them. Like say you want to propagate this one, you want to make a cut right here. Or you can cut the whole leaf off and do like 2. Lay it down. Well, here, I'll show you with that leaf that fell off. Duh. I just dropped my scissors. Okay, I got the leaf that was torn. If you see the vein that runs up through here, you can see it better in the back. The veins that run up through here, each one of those will start a new plant. So you could cut it, say like this. Now I'm not propagating I'm not propagating a begonia. Make you a clean cut. Stick this down in soil. Wet your soil. We'll say pretend like this is a pot or a tray of some sort. Wet your soil down. Let it dry. Don't, waterlog it. And then just stick your cutting where you've cut on that vein and stick it down just like that. And then put it under some really nice bright light, and then you can do several. You can cut all of these. Well, that is ripped. You'd have to cut it up farther, make a clean cut. And then you could have 3 or 4 or 5, propagations, and then what it will do is it will send up a new plantlet, a new little baby plant, and it will get bigger and bigger. It'll feed off the mother leaf, and then as the baby gets bigger, it'll grow its own roots, and the mother leaf will eventually die off, and then you can get rid of it, and you'll have a little baby plant, and it'll just keep growing. That's another thing about cane begonias. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm not going to grow a plant in my hand. But that's the great thing about cane begonias is they're super easy to propagate. I find it much, much easier to just take a cutting. Like you could cut it, like say you didn't like this top part sticking up and you wanted it to be more even. You could just cut it, and you can cut it wherever you want. It don't have to be at a node. You can just cut it. I showed you earlier how it will just grow all the way down the stem whether there's a node there or not. That is a great thing about cane begonias. They're easy. You can't hardly make a mistake. I'm not saying you can't, but you can. I mean, I've killed so many plants that it's not funny, but that's how we learn. But yeah, it's super easy. I'll give you a shot of my other begonias over here in my corner. There are all of my other begonias. Well, it's not all of them. I got a Lucerna, and then, well, actually I've got 2 Lucernas. I got Angel Wing that drapes down. She is, let's see if I can focus in on her. Nope, she's behind another plant. I don't want to move everything. I've showed you guys all my begonias before. You can go back and look at what I have. But absolutely gorgeous. I love having them. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I have about 7. 2 in the pots are the same kind. Because my Lucerna, I love her so much that I propagated her and then made a secondary pot like a fool. But I love my begonias. They bring such a great splash of color into your plant area. And so, alright guys, I am going to let you go. Give you another look at her. She is absolutely gorgeous. I'm so glad that my mom, not that I really needed it, but I just cannot turn down a beautiful cane begonia. They are gorgeous. So, Begonia, Sophia, I think, my mom didn't know, I looked it up, there are several that are very, very similar, so if any of you actually have this plant, I'll get a really good close-up of if any of you guys have this begonia and you know what the name of it is for sure. Like I said, I think it's a Sophia, but I'm not positive. Let me know. I appreciate it. Alright guys, I will talk at you later, and you guys have a great day. Bye. Peace.